Hello, I'm Deborah Curry, your CEO of the FICPA, and I want to welcome Barry Melancon, President and CEO of the AICPA, who's going to join us today here for a quick conversation. Welcome, Barry.
Deborah, it's great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Well, we're honored to have you with us, and I want to say how intrigued I always am by your conversations with CPAs, not only on the state of the profession today, but where we're headed in the future. And you're always addressing disruptive technologies. And within that, one of the main technologies you talk about is artificial intelligence. So could you share your insights on how you think artificial intelligence is actually going to affect the CPA profession?
Yeah, it's one of probably 5 major ones that are out there. Obviously blockchain, and we could say virtual reality and augmented intelligence and things of that nature. But artificial intelligence really is about taking learning to a different level. And it is really about how, with the access to data, that certain determinations can be made. If we think about the audit process or even the tax process and what we do as a profession, there's an aspect of we take information, we take data, and then we sort of make some conclusions or make recommendations, or in the case of an audit, we reach conclusions about accuracy. So artificial intelligence is already being used in some form, maybe some would argue a precursor of augmented intelligence, but artificial intelligence will allow us to look at contracts, blockchain transactions, and be able to actually learn the accounting or tax aspects of a certain set of data, and that might become repetitive in a company, and then to apply that in a broader population. Artificial intelligence is still hard to get done because you have to teach a system what it is that it needs to know, or it has to learn through a series of transactions. So with artificial intelligence, if you want something very simple, artificial intelligence to know something is a cat, you literally have to feed the machine thousands and thousands of examples around the world of this is a cat. But once that learning is there, it's there. And so the transition period from worker to worker, audit team to audit team, next generation successors, you don't have that same loss of knowledge with artificial intelligence either. So that's the other big part of it.
And do you see that the artificial intelligence will not only just be available to the large companies, large firms, but it's actually going to be developed such that it can help practitioners and companies at all levels?
I just sat in a session a couple of days before we're recording this, and we had about 60 different vendors that are providing different capabilities to the profession. And one of the questions we asked them to address was artificial intelligence. And everyone is looking at their services and their platforms and seeing how they can apply. So yes, it will come throughout. I think one of the biggest concerns that I have is as it relates to the implications of that in audit, is how do we take that and bring that to all size firms? There are about 15,000 firms that do audits. It's a major issue. We call it auditing of the future. And to be able to build certain things like big data and artificial intelligence into a capability that's not just at the big firms, but in all the firms that choose to do auditing.
Okay, so that means that artificial intelligence is here, it's moving forward, it's going to be further developed, and that we as a profession need to be adapting, paying attention, and accepting this kind of disruptive technology.
No question about it. And it's going to happen probably quicker than people believe. The Bill Gates saying is that we tend to overestimate the impact of technology in 2 years and underestimate it in 10. And I think that probably applies in the artificial intelligence segment, but it will happen very quickly. And we're going to feel it in things first, like driverless vehicles, et cetera, which has a component of artificial intelligence. If you think about it, a driverless technology has to recognize this is a green light or a red light. Right. And so that is a notion of that capability. And so we will feel it in various ways in our life, in our technological interactions, but it clearly will be in business transactions as well.
Wonderful. I know this is intriguing, and we could probably go on for hours talking about artificial intelligence and how it's going to affect us all. But certainly what that means is that we need to stay tuned, there's more to come, and that we as a profession need to be really looking into this as a major issue of how we're going to provide services to our clients in the future.
Our success will be about how we adapt into all these technologies, and also the speed.
Excellent. Good words of wisdom. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Deborah.
Appreciate it.